Explosions rocked Quebec at 2 different factories in 24 hours.
A man arrested for stealing poppies will go to court as Remembrance Day ceremonies start today at Humber. Both James Bond and Honest Abe will hit the big screen tonight. Humber News starts now.
Hello, it's Friday, November 9th. Welcome to Humber News, coming to you from the Broadcast Center here at the North Campus. I'm Catherine Ward. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Elton Hobson. Ahead on our show, we'll have all your news, sports, and entertainment highlights, as well as your 5-day weather forecast. But first, Catherine has our top story.
The Supreme Court of Canada handed down a ruling today that could have long-lasting ramifications for children with learning disabilities. The court ruled in a unanimous decision that the BC Ministry of Education failed to meet the needs of a dyslexic student. The suit was initiated in 1997 by the father of Jeffrey Moore, a grade 3 student who was referred to the school's District Needs Diagnostic Center. But the center was closed to cut costs before Moore could be diagnosed. The Supreme Court ruled that the school district unfairly discriminated against Moore by failing to accommodate his needs.
The list of candidates vying for the Ontario Liberal leadership continues to grow. MPPs Eric Hoskins and Charles Sousa have both resigned from their cabinet posts, prompting speculation that the two will run for Dalton McGuinty's job. Both Hoskins, former Minister of Children and Youth Services, and Sousa, former Citizen and Immigration Minister, are expected to make an official announcement over the weekend. They will join Glenn Murray, Kathleen Wynne, and Sandra Pupatello in the race.
Students gathered to pay their respects today to Canadian soldiers and veterans in a Remembrance Day ceremony on campus. Ali Chesson has details.
The ceremony opened with the sound of bagpipes. A silent crowd of staff and students gathered to pay their respects to Canada's soldiers and veterans. Speeches were made in remembrance of fallen Canadian soldiers throughout all wars.
In World War I, 660,000 fought, 1 in 4 were injured, 1 in 10 died.
Margaret Guthrie, a retired professor of nursing at Humber College, recalls the personal effect of war on her father and 2 brothers.
One died in a crash of a CF-100, and my other brother, I would say, died of post-traumatic stress syndrome. He died young, and he never really got over that war. And my dad served in the First World War. At night, he used to have shakes, you know, the whole bed would shake, years after he had been in Europe.
Retired Humber professor Donald Foster says it's important to remember soldiers of the past and present.
It's not just those 2 world wars a long time ago, but now remembering the veterans who have been in Afghanistan and Iran, and so I think it's very important to continue to remember.
Along with a 2-minute moment of silence, students wrote personal messages of remembrance on a banner provided by the Humber Students Federation. Speakers and many audience members donned the red poppy pin and sang along to O Canada, accompanied by a choir of Humber's daycare kids. HSF President Balinder Bedi relayed the importance of these symbols.
People shouldn't just wear the poppies just because it matches their outfit, and I'm not saying that in jest. I'm saying in all honesty, they should realize why it's pinned close to their heart and understand the true nature of what our veterans and our troops are giving up for us.
If you couldn't make today's ceremony, remember to continue to wear your poppy and observe the moment of silence this Sunday at 11 a.m. Ali Chesson, Humber News.
For those looking to pay tribute to Canadian soldiers this weekend, Remembrance Day services will be held throughout Toronto on Sunday. Ceremonies can be attended at the following locations: Old City Hall, Queen's Park, Historic Fort York, East York Civic Centre, the Etobicoke Civic Centre, and the North York Civic Centre. All events are expected to start around 10:45.
A man facing 9 charges in a series of poppy box thefts is scheduled to appear in court today. A 31-year-old was arrested and charged on Thursday for allegedly stealing 3 poppy boxes in Toronto's West End. Police say security video and public assistance helped them catch the suspect. He had $282 on him at the time of his arrest. Police say a bag full of poppies was later discovered during a home search. Christopher Ethier's charges include 3 counts of theft under $5,000 and failure to comply with probation.
Several families are complaining about neglect and unsanitary conditions at Sunnybrook Hospital's Veterans Care Facility. The concerns include accusations of delayed bathing and feeding, toilet paper shortages, dirty sheets, dead mice, constant room changes, and frequent staff turnover. The hospital says the complaints are from only a handful of people and contradict high levels of satisfaction for most patients and families. Sunnybrook is home to Canada's largest veterans care facility for 500 World War II and Korean War veterans. The Canadian government says a senior official will be sent immediately to look into the complaints.
A Mississauga surgeon accused of professional misconduct may lose more than his medical license. Dr. John Periog has been hit with over 9 lawsuits totaling more than $7.5 million. It is alleged that he made a series of surgical errors while working for New Liskeard Hospital between October 2006 and July 2009. In July 2010, the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario restricted Periog from performing surgery in Ontario. At a hearing held last week, however, a committee suggested that he be allowed to continue consulting patients if he informed them of his restricted license.
Police are still investigating the cause of a fatal crash on Highway 427 this morning. A 25-year-old was ejected from his car after it rolled over. Police say he was not wearing a seatbelt and was run over by at least one other vehicle following the ejection. The accident closed down a stretch of the highway early this morning. Authorities are looking into whether speed may have played a factor.
Toronto Zoo has become home to 2 orphaned wombats from a zoo in Chicago. Millie and Arthur are southern hairy-nosed wombats with a short but powerful feet. Their long claws help them dig tunnels that can be as big as a tennis court. Millie and Arthur came to Toronto as part of an initiative with zoos in southern Australia to help ensure a sustainable wombat population. The habitat of this particular species is threatened in that region.
When we come back, we'll have more news from across the country and around the world. Alex Fuller will have your sports news, and we've got your 5-day weather forecast with Erica Panacci.
Will the clouds carry over to the weekend, or will we see some sunshine in the forecast? I'll have your 5-day weather update after the break.